Said it best. The two words is program and a pool of players. So many different guys in that select team that they get a chance to choose from, and I think it's fantastic the job they've done, Jerry Colangelo and Coach K.
Argentina wins the tip. Marcos Delia beats it, and that's Facundo Campazzo. He has some history with the United States we'll touch on throughout the game. Turnover right away, and this is what the U.S. is likely to do very well. Turn it over and give it to Kevin Durant.
Well, you talking about turning defense to the offensively very quickly, and I talked about the versatility. That was just the long arms and wingspan of Kevin Durant deflecting that basketball. But then the speed of this Olympic team, I don't think it'll be matched by any.
Nocioni has it. It's another turnover as Carmelo Anthony steps in. 1-on-2. He'll wait for his teammates. Finally goes baseline. Sends it out to Kyrie Irving. Back to Thompson. Durant thought about a three. He's been great from three in international competition. So has Melo, but that one's short. Collected by Irving. You'll note the shot clock goes to 14 on an offensive rebound in FIBA. That's a relatively new rule for FIBA. I like that rule, in fact.
I do like that rule, and I think the one thing is being adjusted for our NBA guys to understand going to 14 doesn't give you a chance to play with the basketball, and that's learning the rules, and Coach K talked about that. They've been doing that throughout this summer.
Scola with Melo on him, goes behind the back, and he's fouled by Carmelo Anthony.
That's a great job by Carmelo. Not happy with that call, man. He did a nice job of cutting off Scola, taking the bump. Well, these referees said too much from Carmelo and called a foul.
Mike Krzyzewski won't be worrying about foul trouble, but there are 5 fouls allotted in international play in a 40-minute game. Nocioni's off on the three, collected by Cousins, and back come the red, white, and blue. Kyrie Irving coming off an NBA championship. That's blocked by Delia. Out to Thompson, in and out. And it remains 2-0. Campazzo to Scola.
Campazzo really sees the floor extremely well, man. He has a great IQ and a feel for getting guys some easy shots.
He's built like J.J. Barea, better passer than Barea, but not the scorer that Barea is. U.S. is off again. Nocioni lost it. Toes the line for three, and it's good. Andres Nocioni, the 36-year-old, one of those gold medalists from the 04 team.
What I love about Nocioni, he will definitely come out and compete, especially on the defensive end, get a little physical, and on that play, it was interesting. That was a pump fake, a fumble, and another pump fake.
A lot of stuff happened there. Melo will try the United States' 5th three of the game so far, and the Americans finally hit one. Melo is on the board, 5-3, U.S.
Carmelo Anthony has just been special playing on this national team and Olympic team. He does his work very quickly, efficiently. Just loves the way he comes out and plays and knock down shots, and he plays a lot of power forward position for the USA team.
Manu Ginobili's off on his first shot. Don't expect him to play big minutes tonight. Just re-upped with the San Antonio Spurs. Here's Durant on the wing. You talked about it in the open, Smitty. One thing to watch out for with this U.S. team is the passing and playmaking without the likes of a Chris Paul or a LeBron James on the floor.
Well, the makeup of the guys is obviously scores, a lot of them. And they're unselfish players when you're talking about one to win games. But when you're talking about natural ability to be able to find guys, they don't have a lot of guys. I think you look at Kyrie as a point guard, and then you maybe have a Draymond Green, and then I would say even next is probably DeMarcus Cousins with ability to just to find guys and get them open shots.
And to move bodies around in the paint, which he just did, to collect that offensive board and throw it down 7-3, the United States.
Well, that what he can do for sure, Matt, is he's a big body with a skill set of a kind of a small forward.
He's a slightly smaller body, though. He's been doing some hot yoga, trimmed down a little bit.
I like it. But you said it best. He's definitely slimmed down, but he's still a big
body.
And you said it best. Look at him. That's great position, but DeMarcus Cousins is too strong. And that's controlling the paint offensively for USA. I talked about in one of the keys.
Marcos Delia doesn't deal with too many athletes of that size and strength with his Argentine team. Campazzo has it for Argentina, and here's Ginobili. Round Jordan, he thought he had. We got him up in the air, and the crafty lefty will get to the free throw line.
Matt, you're right on it. You talk about a teammate of mine, very, very crafty, being able to create fouls and understands angles to go right up into DeAndre Jordan. He understood he was probably going to get it blocked, but if I take the ball with my arms into his elbow, Mano's one of the best to be able to do this.
Part of that golden generation, which won gold back in 2004, beating the U.S. Took fourth in the 06 Worlds, the bronze medal in the 08 Olympics. They were once ranked #1 in the FIBA rankings, and Ginobili's just had an incredible career. A EuroLeague championship, 4 NBA titles, an Olympic gold medal. Only he and Bill Bradley have ever done that. And about to turn 39, still at it at the NBA level.
2-time All-Star, like you said, 4-time NBA champion, but just remarkable international player. Gold medal. And he had, like you said, this team rolling the Argentina team.
Thompson misses it, and DeAndre Jordan is there to clean it up.
I think DeAndre Jordan has a chance to be very special because of his size. No, he doesn't shoot threes, and there's Manu again. And yes, he did get hit, but he made sure they was going to have some contact with him.
Thompson may have poked Ginobili in the eye.
And as you can see, there's Klay Thompson. He shoots it short, but what can you do with DeAndre Jordan? If you watch him and see him in person, he is massive, Matt.
An enormous human. Campazzo to Delia, in and out. Here comes Melo. We saw it on the previous Argentine possession. A reminder that players can wipe that ball off the rim as soon as it touches the rim on a shot, offensively or defensively. Here's Campazzo, really clever with the ball in his hands, but that gets poked away.
Not all the guys that have played. I think DeAndre Jordan can be special in that area. Like you said, there's no goaltending. With his leaping ability and size to be able to just take shots off the rim.
Irving weaving through the Argentina defense, and Campazzo got him from behind trying to block that shot. The summer it has been already for Kyrie Irving. It was just more than a month ago that he hit the shot of his life in Game 7 to help the Cavaliers win their very first NBA championship. Plays so well in that historic comeback from down 3-1. Now he's got a chance for a gold medal at 24.
That's what I love. You go add the 24 part. So much he's accomplished. And also he's gone through. I mean, the adversity, not getting a chance to continue in the finals last year. And like you said, down 3-1. But he was spectacular along with LeBron James. And like you said, that was a huge shot. And now he has a chance to win a gold medal and lead this team at 24 years of age.
First points of the night for Irving, who had 26 in that Game 7. Remember, he had 41 in the Game 5 Cleveland win. Ginobili with Jimmy Butler now on him into the game, and he'll try the three. That's off. And Jordan has it. He'll get a lot of those.
Above the rim and above the square.
Durant past Scola. Leaves it for Jordan. He's in an awkward spot, but throws it down nonetheless. DeAndre Jordan had to gather his feet for a moment.
And this is when you understand the players you play with. Kevin Durant, not used to playing with a guy like DeAndre Jordan because you got to throw it up. But beautiful pass by Kevin Durant. And look at DeAndre Jordan trying to go up, but he gathers and, you know, Mano, be careful with your hand around there because DeAndre Jordan, once he catches it, you have to wrap him up and put him at the free throw line before he dunks it.
Jordan caught it around his waist and had to come back down for just a split second before he threw it down for the and one opportunity. 6-11 out of Houston, where the U.S. will play their final exhibition game against Nigeria next week. First time with the U.S. senior national team and off on the free throw. As you know, Jordan struggles from the free throw line. Campazzo ahead to Nocioni. Guarded by Kyle Lowry.
Boy, he is walking on the ball with his strength and size.
And Lowry forced to travel on Nocioni. Kyle Lowry's given up about 7 or 8 inches to Nocioni, but he kind of bulldogged him into that turnover. Good start for the U.S. here in Las Vegas so far. 13-3 for the red, white, and blue.
USA Basketball on NBA TV is brought to you by Nike Basketball. Bring your game.
Ten-point lead for Team USA, which is beginning its road to Rio tonight. And in fact, this Olympic journey will mark the very last in the celebrated career of Mike Krzyzewski as he wraps up his tour as the head coach of the red, white, and blue. Coach Krzyzewski has won 2 golds, and throughout that process here, he has said that he has learned he can't coach this group the same way he has led Duke to 5 national championships. With the professionals, he has stressed no rules in the locker room, yet it is standards where the pros themselves get to decide what the ethics will be for this team. Now, in terms of the immense amount of pressure, Coach K says the style of play helps this team alleviate that pressure to win gold or bust. Fast-paced, everybody getting involved, a lot of defense. And Smitty, the U.S. military, as you know, has played a huge part in having this team understand their selfless service motto. Coach K says not as much pressure when it's great to serve, and they have certainly embraced that.
You're totally right, Jared. And Jerry Colangelo and Coach K has done a nice job involved in the military. And these guys have responded well. It's about just coming together as a team. We know talent-wise, there's nobody out here can match the USA team. But what you have to have is a team that when you have a little bit of adversity, that can stick together.
A moment ago, Andres Nocioni ended a 13-0 U.S. run. They've traded baskets since, and now 20-6. And Smitty, the speculation is, and Coach Krzyzewski's talked about this a little bit, but the style that Jared talked about is going to be maybe a little more fast-paced. They've always run at the international level, certainly in the Olympics, but forcing turnovers, getting out and run, and maybe coming in waves as we've seen so far here in terms of the rotation.
And that's what I love about great coaches and Coach K understanding the, not just sticking to a game plan that he's had over the years, being able to adapt to the team he has. And this team is a versatile team with 6-7 guys at that wing position that can get out and run and make plays and are comfortable handling the basketball. Sometimes you have wing guys, they're runners, they're just finishers. These guys can make plays off the dribble, shoot threes like a Paul George. He is made for international play. And then you have that guy right there, DeAndre Jordan. There's no way when you have a guy that you have to go help and you feel that you're going to get back to be able to box him out. It's just impossible.
Well, Argentina's going to have the same problem tonight that most teams who face the U.S. will confront as well. They just don't have a body as big and as strong on their roster as DeAndre Jordan.
No, I mean, I think you got to go with somewhat of a zone and also sometimes a flat-out zone to be able to have guys that have their body on him to keep him off the glass.
Well, Coach K's been at this a while. This is his 20th USA coaching staff. Going back a long ways, as well as the Division I all-time leader in wins. Scolo looking for Brusino. Signals crossed there, and another turnover for Argentina. That's Nicholas Brusino, who signed with the Dallas Mavericks this summer, coming to the NBA. He will be the 10th Argentine player to play in the NBA.
And you talk about the Dallas Mavericks being able to pick up a guy like Nicholas to be able to play with a Dirk Nowitzki. He's going to create space for you even at his age. So interesting to see how he fits in with the Mavs. And we're getting a chance to have a first-time look of him as well as seeing Argentina run a little bit of a zone.
Yeah, a little bit. Lowry, baseline to Butler. Pump fake, steps inside the two-point line. That's short. Cousins gets another offensive board for the U.S. Nocioni got a hand on it, but Andres will pick up the foul. Cousins and Jordan are really hurting Argentina on the offensive boards.
They are. I talked about the zone. They were in a zone, and they did a great job. As you can see, the ball goes up. There's Scola, there's Nocioni, but just the strength of DeMarcus Cousins to be able to go get it and then being able to draw a foul. That's controlling the paint offensively for the USA team.
Cousins was one of 4 players on the gold medal winning World Cup team 2 years ago in Spain. Averaged just under 10 points and 6 boards a game. Shot 70% in that tournament.
Played fantastic. And Draymond is one of those guys that can jack of all trades when we start talking about the versatility. He's probably the #1 guy in the league at the guy who can play 1 through 5 and also on the offensive end do some special things.
Kyle Lowry picks up the foul on the ball handler, Nicholas Laprovitola, who played in Spain last year. There he is, number 8. First Olympics for Laprovitola, the 26-year-old. Was part of the FIBA Americas team that qualified for the Olympics last summer. Has played in Argentina, Lithuania, and Brazil. Last season spent in Spain.
And DeMar DeRozan getting a chance to check in for the USA team. Another wing guy with some versatility. Doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but his mid-range game and his defensively. And now you see no point guard in the lineup for USA. Paul George is handling that duties.
Butler handles now, takes it to the rim. Good defense there, but again, it's Cousins on the boards once and nearly twice. Brusino picks it up, and Laprovitola has it behind the back. He'll set, and Nocioni puts it on the floor. Left-hander is not good, and back out come the U.S. Here's DeRozan, so good in transition.
He's pretty good.
Back out. I was talking to DeMar before the game about that ball. It is a different ball.
It is very slippery.
Different, very slippery, especially the new ones. One of the things I remember about covering that World Cup team is Cousins is stuffed there. Is watching DeRozan work out after practices with an NBA ball, and I asked him about that. He said it's just to get the feel for it once again. Here's Nocioni for three. A nice look from Laprovitola.
A nice little run for Argentina defensively and also offensively. They're moving around, and yes, they're still down by 10, but a good job by them.
Paul George with the floater. What a great story it is that Paul George is back, well documented. That horrific knee injury 2 years ago in the lead up to the World Cup. 2 years on August 1st since he came back. And it's interesting, he said he felt better during the playoffs because that's closer to the 2-year timeline his doctors gave him for recovery. Acuna with the bucket.
Paul George was so good before the injury, and the way he's come back and returned, I think he has a chance, the way he's playing right now, to be an MVP candidate for the Pacers in this league. And there's Cousins again on the offensive glass. What a special talent DeMarcus Cousins is.
More second chance points for the U.S. They lead 8-0. Laprovitola now hounded by George, one of the great two-way players in the NBA. Speaking of which, screen on Nocioni finds Brusino down low. And a travel on Argentina.
And, looking forward to how Jimmy Butler and DeRozan being able to play in this type of up-tempo pace. Yes, those guys are fantastic in the open court, seeing how they react in international play in a half-court situation. There's DeRozan trying to post up, and Draymond being able to shoot the three, get some space. And there's Cousins.
Cousins one more time on the offensive board. He is wreaking havoc down there, and Acuna had no choice but to foul it.
He's giving up about 50 pounds. Doing his best to try to block out DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, people forget, and I looked at it again, DeMarcus Cousins averaged close to 27 points last year. This is a guy that can flat out score the basketball. You don't get a chance to see him a lot because the Kings haven't won a lot of games, but you talk about talents. He has the most talent, I think, at that center spot than anyone in the entire NBA.
I don't think there's any question. Averaged just under 27, as you mentioned, fourth in the league in scoring last season. 11.5 boards per game. A block and a half, roughly. Such a talent. Draymond Green with an offensive board. He gets it back again. The U.S. will get another try. It's George for three.
Fantastic job by Draymond, even though the shot was blocked. Being able to carve out space and get an offensive rebound, and then in traffic, being able to throw it up and out to Paul George for an easy one. And there's Paul George again.
And Paul George finishes off the quarter nicely for the U.S. 12 second chance points to none for Argentina, and the U.S. has its biggest lead through one quarter at 18. It's 32-14. George finishes in double figures with 10 already in the red, white, blue. The USA Basketball Showcase presented by Verizon features the U.S. basketball men's and women's national teams as they take on top competition in preparation for this summer's international games. Tickets for games across the country are on sale now. Visit usab.com/showcase for schedules and ticket information. Paul George led the way in the first quarter with 10 points. He was 4 of 6 from the field, a couple of three-pointers compared to just one for his teammates. as Nocioni drops home the floater.
Nice job by Nocioni knocking that one down. A great pump fake, and you can see it was 32-14 after one period. USA didn't shoot the basketball particularly well from the three-point line, 3 of 14, but 18-0 in points in the paint in the first quarter.
Yeah, second chance points really killed Argentina. Laprovidola trying to shake George in front of them, and Paul will pick up the foul. Side out to Argentina.
Argentina did a nice job of getting to the free throw line, 3 of 6. They were just 3 of 7 from the line. I think for them is turning over the basketball and being able to keep the U.S. team off the glass. And there's another turnover and run out by Paul George.
Paul George. Another easy bucket for the U.S. and another turnover for Argentina. Lead is back to 18 as Nicholas Brusino,
look at the pressure by
future
Paul
Maverick,
George,
throws it away with under pressure from George. Good experience for some of the young Argentine players and all players who could make their way to the NBA to get an idea of what they'll be facing someday.
And when you see on that replay, as a offensive player like Argentina, when you look to throw the basketball, you see the distance of Paul George's away from his offensive assignment, but he closes the space so quickly in those long arms.
Laprovido guarded by the 6'10-ish Kevin Durant.
10-ish, 11-ish, 7-footer Kevin Durant.
Who knows for certain?
Look at him standing next to DeAndre Jordan.
Still listed on the USA roster at 6'9". Nobody believes that.
No, still growing.
Safe to say Laprovido is not guarded by a lot of 6'10 guys.
No, not at all. With that mobility.
No. Thompson has Brusino in front of him, or did for a moment. Out to Durant at the three-point line, puts it on the floor. Back out to Thompson. Fakes the three again. Over to Irving.
Oh,
This
this
the
is
shot
beautiful.
clock. Great ball movement off the front rim and kept alive by DeRozan. Durant will try another three and gets it. More second chance points for the United States, and a three falls for Kevin Durant.
That's the unselfishness of this team. That was just beautiful basketball. Then being able to slap it out, the offensive rebound, DeAndre Jordan for a three from Kevin Durant. That's the way you play the game.
Sorry, Gabriel Deck turns it over. Back again, the U.S. Somebody's down a shoe. DeRozan.
Did you see that?
Yes, he took the shot anyway.
The pass and his shoe to him.
That is an assist. Won't go in the box score that way. Back to DeRozan, who's still working out the footwear. Eventually, Jordan, standing below the rim, is fouled by Laprovidola.
Kyrie and DeRozan smiling at each other. If we could get a chance to see that again. I mean, he threw his shoe and the basketball to him. I love if he could have caught the shoe and knocked down the shot.
And he managed to get the ball, get rid of it, and then quickly go for the shoe.
You can see DeRozan still smiling. When got his shoe, sliding around a little bit, but before that, Kyrie got a chance to throw the basketball to him, and way to get right back into the play, DeRozan.
Jordan back at the free throw line for the U.S. 5 of 7 so far.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful form. Well, let me stop. Nice form, not beautiful. But for a big guy who doesn't make free throws at a high clip or a high rate, his shot doesn't look bad. It's just a little bit too much arc. And then if he misses one, then he'll shoot it short like that one. He just got to get his angle going more toward the basket.
It doesn't look bad on the release.
Nope, not at all.
The results aren't there, obviously. Laprovidola with Durant on him, showing the versatility defensively. That's just unfair. Campazzo for three. It's no good, and Jordan had it. Oh, look out on the baseline.
Ooh. Camera guy took one.
George made contact with one of the photographers on the baseline, and that is not the guy you want coming after you. Tried to slow up to protect the fan. Maybe not, didn't even see the photographer. It's hard to tell. He's back at work. All good. Jordan's back out there. And nobody appears to be worse for wear.
I mean, they're switching everything USA 1 through 3, not with Kyrie and DeAndre Jordan.
Laprovitola with the left hand.
Nice.
4 points for Laprovitola. DeRozan out to Irving now, guarded by Campazzo. Here's DeRozan. Shows off the Euro step and high off the glass.
Man, what I love about DeRozan, he's not a particularly high percentage, high volume three-point shooter, but use the pump fake from that area to still be able to get in and make plays.
Campazzo from the free throw line. Irving has it, pushes ahead to Kevin Durant. And a travel by Durant. And if you've watched the United States in these international competitions over the years, you occasionally see these looks from American players trying to figure out exactly what a travel is, as you get an idea of what our photographer was facing down there on the baseline.
Camera guy, I mean,
that's a whole lot of human coming your way.
Ran over, and what I love after that play, you know, he's sitting down trying to cover the game. Durant gives him a hand and picks him up. He's like, I got to sit back down.
Irving thought he had a steal. It's a foul instead against Campazzo. Foul on Irving. There's our guy. He's good.
Randy taking some punishment down there, but that's what he has to do. Good job, Randy. Way to stick in there.
Randy's got kind of a tough guy mustache.
Take the hit.
He can handle that contact. Now Laprovitola is guarded by Mel. You talked about it. They switch everything. And a high arcing shot by Deck is no good. Argentina gets it back. Again, the shot clock goes to 14 on an offensive rebound. Scola from the corner. That's blocked by Durant. You see the length.
The closeout by Durant was special.
Irving gets it back. Beautiful ball handling. Shot won't go. Campazzo to Scola.
Campazzo does a nice job. Just the length of the USA team is giving him a lot of problems. This is where Louis Scola is pretty special down there on the block. But Draymond is pretty strong and a good defender.
Scola tried to shake him. He's got so many moves down there.
Usually with the scoop.
Got a scoop. He's got the shoulder shimmies he uses so effectively. Durant starting to feel it here a little bit. Kevin knocks down another three, his second, and he has 10 points.
You know what I love is watching Klay Thompson on ball defense. We know he can score, but I think on ball defense, being able to create offense off the dribble for him, he's going to another level.
Campazzo really good with the ball and baited Draymond Green into a foul there.
That's what most smalls guys. They give you the up fake, shoulder fake, eyes to get you up and to be able to draw the foul. But watch Kevin Durant, the 6'9"-ish, like you say, 6'10"-ish. Kevin Durant coming off this screen. There's nothing you can do. Great screen by Draymond Green, and he can flat out shoot the basketball. He's part of the Splash Brothers now.
It was 16 years in Australia when Smitty struck gold with Team USA. What stands out about the experience now?
You said it best. Just to have the opportunity to wear the USA uniform across your chest, to get a chance to win a gold medal and represent your country, and then the relationships and the bonds you have with guys. Winning a gold medal in Australia is just phenomenal, Matt.
Here in Las Vegas, the heavy favorites for this year's gold in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The United States already up comfortably on Argentina. An Argentine program that is winding down a great era, their so-called golden generation.
And this is where they're at their best. We were talking in the break, Matt. They used to really move that basketball. You brought that up around him. Manu Ginobili was one of the best because he could break down guys offensively one-on-one, get into the lane and find guys. You know, Manu's up in age. Occhione's up in age. And then they had guys that can knock down three-point shooters. What they were really good is off-the-ball cuts, just like we saw right there in drawing fouls, where you turn your head. They're really good of slashing to the basket and taking an angle where they're not scared to run into you, run over you, catch it, and get to the free throw line.
It's one of the things that struck me about that 04 team. It's just the great chemistry they had. And these guys basically grew up together when you're talking about Scola and Nocioni and Ginobili and Carlos Delfino, who's on this roster trying to make a comeback. He hasn't played in 3 seasons because of persistent foot injuries. We hope and we think we will see him at some point tonight. Campazzo with the steal on the Durant pass. Ginobili trailing. Scola with the trailer 3 off the front rim. Again, we think Delfino may get some run here tonight. But that group all basically grew up together. You could just see it on the floor, how much time they had spent together.
And that's where things changed for the program of the USA team. In 2004, we were more talented than Argentina. But you said it best. They had been together for so many years. They played so well together. When you put a team together, even with talent, sometimes the chemistry is not there. And it showed in 2004, and that's why Argentina won that gold medal.
It was a year later that Jerry Colangelo became involved as the managing director of USA Basketball and brought in Mike Krzyzewski. And the results are pretty phenomenal since, 52-1 in FIBA international competitions. And Coach K says that one kills him.
I know it does.
Thinks about that one a lot.
But he did tell us the other day he doesn't look in the rearview mirror, so hopefully he don't harp on that one too much. What a job he's done. I think it just gave him so much energy, being a part of this, coaching these guys, and then going back to Duke. Coach K just looks like he's refreshed and loving basketball, and it's going to be sad to see him leave after this trip to the Olympics, but handed it over to Greg Popovich.
Not a pretty good transition.
Not bad
transition. There's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to player talent in the United States, and that goes for the coaches as well. You can hand it off from Mike Krzyzewski, who's on the short list of greatest coaches the game has ever seen, to Greg Popovich with his 5 NBA championships. That's pretty good.
Both guys regarded at the top of their craft in both divisions, college and NBA.
Round and round it went, but eventually cleaned up by DeAndre Jordan. Carmelo's laughing about that one, as it wouldn't fall for him. He's 1 of 4. But Melo's been one of the great scorers in international history. If you look at his points per minute numbers over his international careers, Ginobili knocks it down.
I think you can make an argument for him as he's one of the top, at least 2 or 3 guys all time, for USA Basketball. Look at Cousins.
Butler from the baseline and good.
Ginobili with the steal, but the quick hands and ability of DeMarcus Cousins to get that steal. It's fantastic.
Jimmy Butler to the free throw line. First time playing with the U.S. national team.
Watch this. Ginobili has it. And look at Cousins being able to catch the basketball and then make 2 perfect passes, and then Jimmy Butler with the finish and foul.
Well, you mentioned it. Cousins has all kinds of talent, great feel for the game, great footwork, great touch. As Butler tries to complete the 3-point play, in and out. Another offensive rebound as George got to it. Couldn't hold on, and it'll go back to Argentina.
In international play, Coach K talked to us about that on the free throw line, being able to offensively bury guys, and Carmelo's one of the best, and then defensively to understand how to box out guys is totally different from NBA rules. I mean, guys go in early.
As Argentina, because of all those second chances. Jordan couldn't get that one, but Butler does. Another second opportunity to make it up, and Melo converts.
The United States have so many guys that can beat you one-on-one, and when you help, you can get back to a lot of these guys, like Carmelo, a small will carry you on offensive end, trying to get back to box him out.
Deck is off on the jumper. Here's Melo with the ball, and I mentioned the points per minute. 544 points in 557 minutes at the U.S. senior national team level, Smitty. Almost a point a minute.
It is. I mean, he's number 1 as far as 3-point field goals made at 39 and attempts at 94. He's second in field goal attempts at 188. He's just done so much. And then also take your hat off to him. I mean, Colangelo talked about it. He's the first call he had for a guy saying, do you want to play again? And he said yes. Year after year, he says yes to USA.
He'll be the first American male to play in 4 Olympics. And Buzzer got the bucket on one end and let Lowry get away from him on the other.
Good job by Paul George. Great cut. And Kyle Lowry finishing for the USA.
If you want to hear from Coach K and Team USA after tonight's game, tune in to NBA.com and the NBA app for live post-game press conference coverage. Certainly looking like it'll be his reaction to a U.S. win as they lead it here by 26 late in the second quarter. In fact, Kevin Durant and Paul George have nearly matched Argentina. They have 24 points compared to Argentina's 28. But Gabriel Deck is on the free throw line, trying to cut into that margin a little bit. 6'6", plays professionally in Argentina, and about to embark on his first go-around as an Olympian. Did play 10 games with the senior team last year as Argentina qualified.
And some of these younger guys for Argentina has to step up in ways that Scola, Ginobili, Delfino, because they're the next wave. And right now for them is they got to have some younger guys to be able to compete at a high level. I think they're ranked 4th in FIBA rankings right now behind Lithuania, Spain, and obviously the U.S. Well, they got to find some guys. You can see where they might take a dip, I think, because they don't have many guys right now that I can see younger guys that's taking over the torch.
Now, a couple of years ago, it looked as though Ginobili and Scola in particular were done internationally. It's a little bit of a surprise that they're back for this Olympic run. And they are searching for that next wave, as you mentioned. Brusino has to be part of that group. And he'll play for the Dallas Mavericks this year.
I like this little press by U.S. coming out. The USA doing a nice job of just slowing down. They have the ability to be able to press all over the court, especially with DeAndre Jordan.
That part was handled by Argentina, but they couldn't get it past the trap. And Paul George has another breakaway bucket. Timeout here by Argentina with the U.S. up 54-30, and that's part of the defensive versatility that Coach Krzyzewski has at his disposal. 31 seconds left in the half. Back in Las Vegas, where Coach K's U.S. team has dominated Argentina so far, up by 26 here with under 32 seconds to go before halftime. U.S. has outscored Argentina 34-6 in the paint, and looks like they're going to add to that number as Melo can't finish. Butler comes away with it. Perhaps just another chance for second chance points instead, Smitty. They've had some of those too.
I mean, when you start looking at their percentage, it's not good at 42.3, and a lot of his easy second chance points. But this what makes them dominant, the USA team. They can score in so many different ways, and he, like you said, has been in the paint. And there's Manu
at the buzzer. Manu Ginobili. A little Manu magic before the break, but the U.S. leads it by 23. Ginobili's second 3 of this first half. He has 6, but the United States scores 56, 34 of those in the paint, 19 on second chance points.
Matt, he's 38.
He's almost 39.
Almost 39, but he knocks it down. Fantastic for them, but they're still down 23 points. But there's Manu Ginobili, one of the greats. Knock it down at 3. That's big.
We welcome you back to USA Basketball halftime presented by Verizon. A convincing first half lead, 56-33 for Team USA as they get the road to Rio underway. 14 points off the bench for Paul George in his return to USA Basketball. How about a familiar face as we welcome you back inside of this venue here in Vegas, and a guy who knows all about these meetings in the desert, Chris Mullin, a Hall of Famer, two-time gold medal winner, now the head coach of St. John's. I'm Jared Greenberg. Does it bring back memories for you seeing this team get prepared and get ready for an Olympic run?
It does, Jared, and all great memories. I was fortunate enough to play on a 1984 Olympic team, and again in 92. And what's really nice is you get all these great all-star players, and as you saw in the first half here, share the basketball, play defense, trying to establish themselves as a team. We all know they got great talent, but blending that talent together, which Coach K is going to do a great job at, but seeing them play together as a team is wonderful.
Can you imagine now as a college coach and having all the experience you do in the NBA at several different levels, trying to corral all of these egos, all of these all-stars, and get them to buy in the way they do?
Well, you know, these guys actually have a great mindset. You know, what they do in the summertime, they work on their individual games, and that's the most important thing, your skill work and your conditioning. And then, you know, Coach K, I went to a few of their practices, he knows it's not so much about running his offense or Tom Thibodeau's defense. Yeah. It's about emphasizing their strengths, letting these guys play together. And when they share the basketball on offense and they give the effort on defense, the sky's the limit.
You had the unique experience that doesn't happen anymore of playing, you know, back in your college days, back in '84. We're headed to L.A. next for our second stop, and we'll play Sunday evening. That's where you won your first gold medal. What do you remember most about that team as the second leading scorer?
Well, so many things have changed. That was actually a time when you tried out for the team. Bobby Knight was our coach, and we had a long tryout process. I think originally it was about 88 players invited. They cut it down to 60 to 40 to 20. So it was a grueling tryout process. But I'll tell you what, in my mind, one of the most underrated Olympic teams. We had obviously Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, Wayman Tisdale, rest in peace. So we had a really good team. Albert Robertson, great guards. Again, but when you have the talented team like that, you know, the coaches get them to play together, and we won the gold medal.
No Charles Barkley, though, in that team. We do remember that.
A little controversial.
Yeah,
you probably heard a little bit about that at TNT. I'm sure Charles told a few stories about that.
But he was good enough to make it on that dream team. Do you get more questions about that or your days in the Big East, those legendary days, your days in the NBA, which led to you being a Hall of Famer? What do you hear most about?
Probably about the dream team. And then, you know, I hear quite a bit about the you know, the Big East and the immersion of that conference. The good thing is I'm so old I can't really remember anything, so I can't indict myself on anything.
How things going at St. John's?
Very well. Really excited. You know, last year was a year of putting in culture, hard work. So we got a bunch of new players coming in. We're really excited about the upcoming season.
St. John's University getting it done at the alma mater. Chris Mullin, the Hall of Famer. Thanks for coming back with us and joining us, the two-time gold medalist. Team USA trying to win a third straight gold medal. The road to Rio continues with second half action here from T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. Matt and Smitty back on the mic. 56-33 advantage for the red, white, and blue over Argentina at the break. Wouldn't know it was the first run for this version of Team USA, the men's national team, with a 56-33 halftime lead. Let's take a look at our game summary presented by Samsung. A plus 20 on the glass for the red, white, and blue. 10 of those grabbed by DeMarcus Cousins. Argentina's 14 first half turnovers have resulted in 25 USA points. Paul George has got 14. Kevin Durant's got 12. We've got 2 more quarters to play out here in Vegas. We'll bring you the second half when we return here as USA Basketball's exhibition schedule rolls on. 56-33 at the break. Matt Smitty, you're up next.
USA Basketball on NBA TV is brought to you by Samsung. And members get exclusive rates and experiences with Marriott Rewards, the official partner of USA Basketball.
Back in Las Vegas, where everything has gone according to script so far, the United States leads Argentina by 23. Matt Weiner, Steve Smith, the 2000 gold medalist, here with us, and everything you would expect the U.S. to dominate, they've dominated.
lane, gets the guys, sometimes 2 through 5 that of all guys wingspan. Durant has done a fantastic job. 22 made field goals and only 4 turnovers.
Argentina turned over 14 times against the hounding defensive pressure by the United States. That's led to 25 points. I mentioned the second chance points. The U.S. led 19-2 at halftime, and in the paint, 34-6. Different starting lineup, or different lineup, I should say, in the second half. Harrison Barnes makes his first appearance of this game for the U.S. He was the only U.S. player who did not play in the first half. Likewise, Carlos Delfino was the only Argentine player who did not make an appearance, and he is on the floor here for the third quarter as well. Kevin Durant saying hello. Hey, where you been? Well, he's been away for 3 years, yes, undergoing 7, count them 7, surgeries to his right foot, trying to make his way back. Manu Ginobili starts the second half with a layup, just the way he finished off the first half with that buzzer-beating 3.
You know, and so many guys, when I was a teammate with Manu and also playing against him, saying he's going left. And yeah, he is going left, but it's so hard because he comes off that screen and roll so tight, and he's uses his shoulders to get by guys, and he's so physical. And then he still showed a little burst to be able to get to the bucket over DeAndre Jordan.
Still true. Still going left.
Yes.
Still pretty good at it.
Still going hard.
Durant missed the 3. The U.S. was just 5 of 21 from three-point range in the first half. Didn't shoot the ball exceptionally well. Didn't really matter because they cleaned up so many offensive boards and because of all those turnovers as well. And Smitty, with that shorter three-point line, you know, at some point that's going to come as well. Guys like Kevin Durant and Carmelo Anthony have made a mockery of the international three-point line.
Yeah, it's almost like a mid-range shot for those guys, and also they can catch and shoot it easily with guys defending them. And there's Manu Ginobili with a nice pump fake. He misses that one. But you said it best. That three-point line for a Durant, for a Carmelo, and a Paul George could end up, they can run off 4 or 5 in a row and really extend leads in games.
Irving back to Jordan, gets it back. Laprovitola had to go around the Jordan screen. No chance. And Irving cashes in by knocking down the U.S.'s 6th 3 of the night.
And Kyrie is so good off the catch and shoot 3, but his ability, like you said, with this shorter line off the dribble. And there's Manu Ginobili.
Now that is one of the classic elements of Manu Ginobili that won't be part of his. Argentina's arguing that was a tipped ball. Now here's some of the differences we talked about, including that three-point line, which is significantly shorter at the FIBA level, about 1.5 feet, in fact. Fewer fouls allowed in a smaller game, or shorter game, I should say. And talked about goaltending. It does not exist at the FIBA level. Once the ball hits the rim off a shot, anybody can grab it, touch it. Carlos Delfino just picked Kevin Durant.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Been waiting 3 years to do that, Smitty.
And Manu Ginobili threw his legs, and I wonder if we could get a shot of Coach Popovich, who was sitting next to Jerry Colangelo. They used to drive Pop crazy.
Well, that's an element of Manu's game that won't be part of his Hall of Fame induction speech, is that he can drive coaches crazy occasionally for a long time now with some ill-advised passes, we'll put it that way. Carmelo Anthony knocks down the three-pointer, 7-3, and there's maybe a little momentum from the three-point line for the U.S.
Not good for anybody if they can dominate the points in the paint and then get a chance offensively to start knocking down threes.
Argentina had a couple of tries at it there. Trailed by 27 here early in the third quarter. Irving missed it. No Argentina player really went after that ball.
I just love Nocioni. Every trip down, he goes at referees. There's Popovich with his head down, and he's next in line. Phenomenal job he's done, and can't wait to get a chance to see him take over for Coach K. And watching Ginobili, I mean, it was a treat when we had a chance to play with Ginobili first came, because trying to control Ginobili was something to watch, because he threw his legs around the back passes, and he would give you, hey, I don't know what I did, Coach.
Hands up, hands raised, palms up. It's the way I play, Coach. Really one of the most unique players in NBA history. Basically brought the Euro step to the United States, now utilized by so many players. James Harden, most notably. Foul on Carmelo Anthony, trying to guard Laprovitola.
And there was
even
a guy
there having a conversation about it.
I was young and watching him and Manu Ginobili, Sarunas Marciulionis used to go so hard with his strength. The same thing with the Eurostep. Both those guys are very tough to guard.
And Marciulionis is such a big body for a guard, just bull strong. Scola out to Delfino, and Carlos hasn't lost a step.
He has it.
Good for him to come back and knock down a shot here. Good to see him back on the floor after struggling those foot surgeries. Anthony with another three.
Carmelo can heat up quickly. You look at Carmelo right now, 15 minutes, 11 points. He's like a point-a-minute guy for the United States.
Ginobili off the glass, no good with the left hand, and it'll go back to the United States. Carmelo Anthony, 2 Olympic golds already and a bronze. Didn't play much for that 04 team that lost Argentina. He and LeBron James were both rookies on that team. Harrison Barnes now on the board for the U.S. Knocks out his first shot of the night.
Didn't get any minutes in the first half. They're getting a chance now to start. And there's DeAndre Jordan, Kevin Durant beating each other up for the rebound.
Jordan knocked down. Then he lost the ball as Delfino got it. Laprovito thought twice about trying to shoot it over Jordan. But Argentina gets it back. Delfino in the corner underneath. Well done as he finds Nocioni. A couple of names American fans know very well. Both guys who had pretty good NBA careers, Carlos Delfino and Andres Nocioni, who is still productive player at 36. In fact, he was the MVP of the EuroLeague Final Four just last year.
And look at Scola run, and because he ran so hard, gave a free opportunity for Manu Ginobili. Good job by Argentina. Still down 24 points, but looking better offensively than this half.
And Ginobili's knocked down 3 of the 6 threes he has tried. Irving with an answer with a 2 on the other end. Ginobili has 11 points. That's 7 now for Kyrie Irving. Delfino with the ball. He's got the Scola screen. Back to Scola for 3. And the new Brooklyn net drains it.
You know, Louis Scola last year for the Raptors. We talked about his post play, but last year he shot 40% on three-pointers. I mean, increased his rate.
Well, that's one thing. One thing Argentina is doing exceptionally well right now is knocking down threes. They're 9 of 19 from the great beyond.
And if they were a little bit closer, we could have a better ball game in the first half of knocking down those shots. And that's the one area I talked about as a key for the United States team. They have to defend that three-point line. Because teams can get right back in the game or hang around.
Coach K will swap out everybody here. George, Thompson, Butler, Cousins, and Kyrie Irving does remain on the floor. Irving out to Cousins. George working with Cousins, and an offensive foul on Paul George.
You can see Paul George determined to come off that screen. Just use his arm a little bit.
Third foul on George, defended by Patricio Guarino.
Patricio did a nice job of playing the play because they really sent the pick and roll down and kept Paul George on one side, and yeah, he shoved him a little bit.
Guarino's a good defender. He was Atlantic 10 all defense at George Washington University. Nocioni with another bucket. And the Argentines are now within 21. U.S. led by as many as 29 in this game. Battle for the rebound down low. Butler was fouled.
Matt, we get a chance to see Manu Ginobili knocking down threes. He's in fantastic shape, 38 years of age.
A 69-48 third quarter lead for Team USA as they open up exhibition play here in Vegas. And I'm joined by a guy who is busier than J-Lo and Britney Spears these days in Vegas. Jay Wright, national championship winning coach at Villanova and helping out with the U.S. select team. What's it been like for your whirlwind, I'd imagine, the last few months?
It has. It's been crazy. I committed to the select team before we won, so I didn't know it was going to be this crazy this summer. But it's been great working with this team.
Have you helped out Kyle Lowry doing some trash talking here?
No, I'm really impressed with him, and it's a different role for him. You know, he's coming off the bench, kind of a cheerleader and an energy bringer. I'm proud of him. I like the way he's handling this.
Working with Greg Popovich with the select team, what has been the goal this week with those group of young guys who are trying to get on this national team?
Select team did an amazing job this week. All young NBA players, right? And they came in and they ran France, Argentina, Serbia. They ran their cuts against the Olympic team, played zone against them, and then we scrimmaged amongst each other so Coach Pop could get a look at future Olympians.
I see you've been sitting next to Coach Pop during this game. When Manu Ginobili takes shots, is he hitting you? Is he elbowing you? Anything happening? Is he saying anything?
It's funny. He knows everything Manu's going to do before he did it. He had that turnover right in front of Pop right here. Pop just shook his head. He knew it was coming, but it's been amazing spending time with Pop. He's a great guy, but his basketball IQ is off the charts. I've learned a lot.
What are your aspirations with Team USA here? Could you see your role growing every summer?
You know, I've worked with Team USA a lot. I've coached Pan Am games, Goodwill games. I've worked with Coach K in any way they've asked me to. And this is kind of it's a team, it's a family. Whatever they need, I've done different things, worked with the select team. So I'd do anything they needed.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it. We know you've been a very busy man out here running camps in addition to working with our select team, so we appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, man. I love it. You're representing Hofstra well, man.
That's right. Hofstra guy right here, Matt Weiner and Steve Smith.
Well, you're talking to the son of a Hofstra gal and the nephew of a couple of Hofstra guys as well. So we've got the whole Hofstra thing covered here in Las Vegas. U.S. has actually been outscored here in the third quarter by Argentina so far.
They have
heated up from three-point range. In fact, Argentina's 4 of 6 from three-point range here in the third.
A little bit more competitive game, and they've defensively done a nice job. And offensively, you said it best. They knocked down some threes, but not a lot of easy buckets, especially on the offensive glass for the USA.
Scola into the post with Lowry on him. Remember, he first forced a turnover in the first half in that matchup. Papavitola out to Scola. Off on that three, Nocioni grabs it, and he's fouled by Lowry on the baseline. Nocioni was already ready to argue the call, even though he got it.
Man, he got the call, like you said. It's just in his DNA to go at referees. But you said it best. I mean, Argentina's done a nice job in this second half. They're still down 20, but so far, they've won this second half.
Cousins just swallowed up that ball from Scola and is called for the foul.
So happy for Jay Wright. You know, just to go back to talk about him. Phenomenal job with that Villanova team. The last 2 years, the team the year before you thought had a chance to win a national championship, and we know in March Madness anything can happen, but this year weathered the storm, and wow, was that a big shot.
Yes,
the way they ended to win that game.
Probably the greatest finish to a national championship game there has ever been. Scola at the line here, 5th team foul on the U.S. that triggers the bonus. And Scola, great shooter, knocks him down. He's in the double digits now with 10. Lead is down to 18. Once as big as 29 for the U.S. Scola in the paint, Scola defending Cousins and strips him. Brusino over to Garino. Nocioni puts it on the deck. Tried to scoop it up. It's an air ball collected by Cuz. Thompson passed Brusino.
Good job.
And the Argentina hands have been much more active here in the second half.
That's a victory for them. You're talking about biggest lead by the USA team, 29. It's down to 18. We got a game.
Foul on Garino, his first. Lowry will inbound for the U.S. The Toronto Raptor over to Thompson. Quick trigger three. Cousins kept it alive. Lowry saves it back to Thompson. Out to Butler for three. That won't go. Cousins again there for the board. And for about the umpteenth time here, an Argentine player is forced to foul an American as the offensive rebounds.
When you start talking about three-point line, 10 three-pointers made in Argentina for 47%. The USA is 8. And that's why they cut into this league. It's been the problem for them is on the glass throughout this game. Plus 21 for the United States of America, and that's 38 points in the paint. Because of
those are big numbers. The U.S. has doubled Argentina's rebound output. Lead back to 20 thanks to the Cousins free throws. Lapravitola has it, guarded by Thompson. Screened by Scola. He grabbed Cousins' arm to try to create a little space. Still didn't work. Smacked away by Cuz. Stays with Argentina. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Marcus Cousins did a nice job of being able to switch out on a guard and slide his feet and block a shot without fouling.
Into Scola. Back to Lapravitola. Baseline. Thought about the reverse. Instead to Carino for the three. That won't fall. And here comes Kyle Lowry ahead to Thompson. Thompson into Carino's chest. Does a nice job moving his feet. And comes back to try to strip Cousins, but he'll pick up the foul.
Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins, nice job of in traffic being able to make plays. A big that has a skill set of handling the basketball and making plays. He's real fluid as a guy 6'11", been able to dribble the basketball and more importantly that with his head up. And as he misses this free throw.
Foul actually goes against Scola. It's his third. Cousins is a two-time NBA All-Star. All-NBA second-team member the last 2 years. There's a lane violation there, but the shot went, so we play on. Under a minute to go, third quarter. U.S. up by 21. Rusino out front, and he's called for the travel.
That's because of the pressure of Klay Thompson. On-ball pressure. And then you have Paul George and Jimmy Butler, two wing guys that close the gap, and they take your space away, force that turnover and that travel.
This really is a great defensive lineup on the floor right now with three wing players in Butler, George, and Thompson, as good as really anybody in the league defensively. Thompson stripped by Carino. Patricio Carino can really guard people. I mentioned he was a three-time all-defense guy at George Washington in the Atlantic 10. He's done a nice job staying in front of people.
Yeah, getting his chest in front. Just a little bit of the grabbing, a little holding of Klay Thompson. He draws that foul, but like you said, a good job by him being able to slide his feet and take the bump. It's so impressive. Again, talked about Klay Thompson, the run he had with Golden State last year. In the playoffs, without Stephen Curry, he had to be the #1 option. But I think also to be able to guard 1 through 3 and the energy he had to give out on the defensive end and still score the basketball. He's put himself he's always been an elite shooter, offensive guy, and I think one of the best two-way guys in the NBA.
He may have saved the Warriors' season with that 41-point Game 6 in the Western Conference Finals. Gold medal winner with the U.S. 2 years ago at the World Cup. I watched that team a lot, covering them over in Spain. I thought he was their most consistent player over the course of that tournament.
Quick trigger.
And he can really shoot it.
We're talking about a guy who missed it, and we're saying he can really shoot it because it looks so good. And he squares up and gets on balance.
U.S. just 8 of 31 from three-point range. That'll come. Only a matter of time. Lapravitola goes behind the back, working on Draymond Green. Step back. Butler touched it last, but they run out of quarter. And the U.S. is right back where they started the third quarter. Argentina plays them even. And we go to the fourth with a 23-point United States lead. Fourth quarter on the way here from Las Vegas as Team USA launches the road to Rio in the 2016 Olympics. The U.S. men's and women's pre-Olympic tours continue with coverage on NBA TV presented by Nike. On Sunday, you'll see China and this U.S. men's team at 8 Eastern Time with Marv Albert on the call with Reggie Miller. Monday, it's the U.S. women's select team against the U.S. women's Olympic team at 10 Eastern Time. Tuesday, I'll call in Oakland of China and the U.S. men. Smitty will be back with me for that as well at 10 Eastern Time. Wednesday, France and the U.S. women. Klay Thompson gets us started here in the fourth quarter after Argentina played the United States even in the third. Thompson now with 9 for the U.S.
Great execution on that offensive play, and there you can see right now Kyle Lowry, Draymond Green running down the basketball. Turnover for Argentina.
Gabriel Deck threw it away for Argentina. Another turnover for them. That's their 17th of the game. Did a better job in the third quarter after 14 first half turnovers. So that's what the U.S. has done. We've seen this over and over again in different quadrennials, either the World Cup or the Olympics, is that their pressure can just overwhelm opponents.
It is, and now when you have the versatility of these so many wing guys being able to switch, that's extremely hard. You got to have guards, that point guards with some size to be able to attack that, and now you have Kyle Lowry inside to DeRozan grabbing rebounds. Argentina now coming up with the offensive rebound, and that's where it's going to be hard for teams. And that's where you look at a team like Spain. You can't switch on Marcus Hall and Pau Gasol. They both was playing together because of their ability. They're a team that could be reckoned with. Marcus Hall not playing. So United States okay with that one.
George in the open floor once again. That's where he's done his damage in this game. In the paint and at the three-point line. The analytics guys love Paul George tonight.
Yes.
Layups and three-pointers.
Layups and threes. They don't like the mid-range game.
How great is it that Paul George is out here wearing the red, white, and blue? And not to belabor the point, but everybody remembers what happened 2 years ago, August 1st, when George went down. And it still sounds bad if you use the technical term, the medical term, but he suffered an open tibia fibula fracture to his right leg. At the time, the instant reaction was a lot of people wondered if it might be a career-ending injury. It was that gruesome, frankly. Fourth quarter of the showcase game then. Basically missed the entire following season, came back, played 6 games. Last year, though, 78 games, really productive for the Pacers. Great playoff series, although the Pacers lost. And here he is once again, about to go to the Olympics.
But Matt, you said it. When he came back, like you said, after he missed that entire year, those 6 games, he actually didn't look bad. His timing and his athletic ability wasn't there. And then last year, it was phenomenal to watch him play. And then the beginning of this broadcast, to me, he's in my conversation, a guy looking forward ahead to the season. Could be an MVP candidate. I mean, he was phenomenal in the playoffs last year. And I think, like you said, this 2 year of rehab and getting his knee back, and the way he's moving right now, could be in that conversation.
So good in the playoff series against the Toronto Raptors. Averaged 27 points, just under 8 rebounds, 4 assists in that loss to Toronto. Made a great point about the risks and why these guys are out here. Said, we're not forced to play for our country. We do it because we want to.
And I love that statement by Paul George. I love he's able to be able to close this chapter. A lot of people say, why would he play again? What happened? But it's basketball. And I think for him, as he said, he wants to represent his country. And he said, we're not forced, like you said. He wanted to play. And I think it's beautiful getting a chance to see him get a chance to have a possibility to win a gold medal this year.
And a big hand for George as he steps off. He leads the U.S. with 18 points so far. Durant to DeRozan, who went for a 360 finish. Lost it on the way up. That's what DeMar DeRozan brings to the table. He's had a pretty good summer as well. $139 million contract with the Raptors.
Did he sign that like at 12?
Yeah, he had the pen in his hand just when the clock struck midnight. Yes. When do I say yes? There's a lot of speculation in the years leading up to his free agency, and he had to opt out first, that he might want to return to L.A., possibly with the Lakers. He's an L.A. guy, was born and raised in Compton, California. But there was no question in his mind. He wanted the years, he wanted the familiarity of Toronto, and he is a Raptor for the foreseeable future.
He loves Toronto. He loves Dwayne Casey and Masai Ujiri, what they're doing. And We speculated, like you said, the media about LA, but for him it was, hey, I didn't take any visits, I didn't talk to anybody else, I wanted to return to Toronto. And you have him and Kyle Lowry. They can just add another piece. I know they lost some pieces during the offseason this year. Bismack Biyombo is going to be huge for them to replace. Sullinger's a guy who plays differently than Biyombo. Valanciunas has to have a good year and continue to improve for them to stay status quo.
DeRozan in traffic. Delia and Deck converge defensively. Timeout on the floor here in Las Vegas. The U.S. leads it by 28. Complete post-game coverage of the U.S.-Argentina game on Game Time here on NBA TV at 11 Eastern Time. Kristen Ledlow and our man 3D, Dennis Scott, holding down studio right here on NBA TV. U.S. by 28. They have led by as many as 30 tonight. Argentina played them even in the third quarter. Draymond Green establishes a new biggest lead of the night.
And from his new teammate, Kevin Durant.
That's right.
We haven't talked about that.
Interesting, those guys are getting to know each other in this context. Getting to know each other better. They obviously knew each other.
Right.
DeRozan in the open floor doesn't have numbers in front of him. Leaves it for Lowry. He pushes, sends it back out to Harrison Barnes. Off on the three. Kevin Durant stunned a lot of folks. He just stunned Carino as well, defensively.
Wow, that's deep.
Deep three for Dre, and nothing but air. Although, to be fair, it's a shorter international line. They all look deep. Durant knocks it down.
Man, I mean, there are some guys that can score I've seen in this league. And I put him right up there that could just flat out score in bunches and over and year after year. I don't think he'll ever average under 20. They need to be playing 20 seasons.
Hard to imagine. Four-time scoring champ, Carino gets a three back for Argentina. You're going to have four All-Stars, all in their prime, all well under the age of 30 in the same starting lineup in Golden State. And I can't wait to hear the reaction as Durant tees up another three. 18 now to tie Paul George to the team lead. KD heating up here in the fourth quarter.
It's not fair when you have Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, the way they shoot the basketball, and you add Kevin Durant. And
Durant's over by us and in a little bit of pain. He's as combustible a scorer as there is in the NBA.
Watch his form.
And we got so used to seeing he and Russell Westbrook work together. It's going to be really interesting to see how he fits in to that ball movement offense in Golden State. Do his scoring numbers go up? Do they go down a little? I mean, I
think down just a little, maybe a few points. But I think he'll be more efficient. And I think he'll get more wide open shots. And I think he'll have a lot left to finish games when you just say, hey, we need a bucket. Klay can do it, Steph can do it. We know that. But then there's a guy that also can do it at a high level. And just a nightmare of a matchup. If you're a team has a great wing defender, say San Antonio. Whoa!
KD's feeling it a little bit. That was about 6 feet outside the line.
And you're the Spurs and Popovich. You say, hey, Kawhi, you have Klay. Who guards Kevin Durant or vice versa? I don't know how many teams that have two wing defenders, elite wing defenders to guard Klay and also Kevin Durant. And I'm not even talking about a team that have a point guard to guard Stephen Curry as well.
Well, you know better than I. You know, you go through those pregame meetings and you've got on the whiteboard the guy you have to stop. They've got 3 of those guys, and then Draymond Green is a triple-double threat.
I mean, you still have Iguodala and also Andre like you said, in Draymond Green, those two guys being able to do all the dirty work and the little things. And we know Draymond can put up some points as well. I think the only thing you have to worry about the Warriors is how they're going to fill out their bench and athleticism from the guys that they still have on the team. They might become a little bit of a slower team when they start to go to their bench.
It's interesting. Barbosa's gone. Zaza Pachulia is there. Andrew Bogut was traded. Argentina did turn it over. That's over and back. And a violation against Argentina. But the top-end talent is sort of mind-boggling in Golden State. It's going to be a great scene up there when Kevin Durant makes his first appearance as a Warrior in the building, doing things like that. Durant now with 23 and making it look easy.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Hondo trying his best at 5'11" against the 6'11". Okay, 6'9", 6'11" Kevin Durant. And he went to the dirt off the one-leg fadeaway against him.
Boy, and who hasn't guarded Campazzo in this game for the United States? Facundo Campazzo came in thinking, oh, okay, you know, I can make some things happen. I'm a playmaker. They've switched everything. He's had like 10 different American defenders on him. And then he gets stuck in this situation.
And he goes to the one-legged fadeaway. Just because he's so comfortable with that shot, but not necessary to go against a fadeaway against the 5'11", like you said, Facundo.
The Americans remember Campazzo, certainly the couple of Americans who played in 2012. He was part of an incident with Carmelo Anthony, who on cue knocks down the three. It was Campazzo who hit Melo in the groin as he attempted the three-point shot right in front of the U.S. bench. He later apologized to Kobe Bryant, not Carmelo, the logic being, in his words, that Chris Paul had hit him first, and he hadn't apologized.
Oh, okay.
Schoolyard logic there.
And that's the reason.
But he was not all that popular with Team USA that year.
He was not.
Carmelo certainly didn't appreciate it. Called it, quote, a cheap shot. Hard to argue that point. Hey, the United States Olympic Committee has selected Los Angeles as the U.S. bid city to bring the Olympic and Paralympic Games back to the United States in 2024. Let's give our Team USA athletes an Olympic home field advantage that year. Learn more and show your support at la24.org. U.S. is led by as many as 41. There's down to 39, but they give it back. Campazzo brings it back.
A bit of a turnover
for Argentina. Campazzo and the Argentine are going with the gold uniforms here, not the, in my mind, not the fantastic blue and white ones that they've worn for years.
I'm old school. This one's not bad, but I just love their old school uniforms.
Always one of my favorite international uniforms, those blue and white stripes. Jordan hands it off to DeRozan.
He lost his shoe again.
Anthony. Melo's got the feeling. Another three for Carmelo Anthony, and the U.S. has really picked up the pace from outside the line. Now 14 of 39, nearly 36%. And Melo has 17 on the night.
DeRozan again lost his shoe on that play. And there's DeAndre Jordan knocking it off the rim.
Picked up on that real quickly. How much would he love that in the NBA? Can you imagine DeAndre Jordan with free reign to goaltend?
We don't need that rule. Not in the NBA. I kind of like the rule, though. It's set off of offensive rebound back to 14.
You do or do not?
I do.
I like it, too.
I'm trying to, especially in international play, but I'm trying to wrap my mind around it, Matt. How would that work in an NBA game? And I'm not sure.
I like it for pace of play, certainly. It's something that the NBA is always conscious of. Carino saves it for Argentina. They come back the other way. They don't have numbers. I wonder about the end-of-game situations that could develop. Would be very interesting. There would be situations where an offensive team would be forced to shoot rather than milking the clock a little bit, which is part of the intent, of course. Would change some things late. U.S. is 4 of 6 from three-point range here in the fourth quarter. Harrison Barnes, screen from Jordan. Past Delia, nice. Up and in for Harrison Barnes. HB with his second bucket of the night. He's got 4.
It's a nice play by Harrison Barnes. Is that a luxury for like a Coach K and coaching these teams? Just look down your line and say, I need a shooter. You call a shooter. I need a defender. Like you said earlier, not worried about anybody getting in foul trouble.
Talent after talent after talent.
USA Basketball on NBA TV is brought to you by Jeep, official vehicles of summer, and by Cisco, proud technology partner of USA Basketball.
Let's take a look at tonight's play of the game presented by Kaiser Permanente, and a play that illustrates everything that makes the United States so dangerous. Great hands by DeMarcus Cousins, the ability to force a turnover and to finish, with Jimmy Butler getting an and one. Cuz also has 14 rebounds and 12 points here tonight.
Finishing up this game, as you can see, United States would put up 109 points. Okay.
Campazzo had to force up to beat the shot clock. The deep three, they get it back. Minute 40 to go here in the first game of the U.S. senior men's team's exhibition schedule on their way to the Rio Olympics. Carmelo Anthony brings it up, guarded by Delia.
See you later, Delia.
Melo beat him left and then decided to go to the reverse. He's fouled. Game effort by Delia, but he was in trouble out there on an island.
He gave Carmelo that look. Big fella's trying to slide his feet out past the three-point line with Carmelo. He has no chance. And a nice little laugh from Carmelo. And once he gets in the paint, and if you have space, he's either going to go over the top or through you, and a nice pump fake to create space.
Be a story to tell the guys back at his Argentine pro team. His one-on-one battle with Carmelo Anthony. Who knows? He could meet him again in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Argentina will be on the other side, Group B. U.S. has an interesting group, including France. Their final game of pool play will be against a very good French team.
You know, I think France, not in the top 4 as far as FIBA rankings, but when you start talking about Nicolas Batum, Boris Diaw, Tony Parker on that squad, and Rudy Gobert being able to change shots, that's a team you got to watch out for if you're the United States.
France has not won an Olympic medal since a silver back in 2000. They have 5 current NBA players, 2 former NBA players on that team. Those are guys who are not going to be intimidated by the faces they see in the USA uniform. Turnover, Cuz slowed up for a moment with Laprovitola in front of him, gets it back. Cuz working out of the post, and an easy 2 for DeMarcus Cousins. 14 points, 15 boards, a tidy double-double for DeMarcus Cousins here tonight.
Making it look easy. You watch him, and yes, a lot of teams and people are shooting threes, even bigs, but he's still one of those guys that can dominate. Even with the new rules defensively, there's not a lot of space, but he can carve out space because of his first bulk, but also his ball handling and his ability down on the block. Is great footwork. He's a guy that can go either hand, and he can face up and knock down shots.
For those of you who missed the old school center, there are still a few left in the NBA. That's one of them. Marc Gasol comes to mind as well. Laprovitola with the bucket here. And the U.S. does not have to shoot. Up 111-74. Kevin Durant heated up here in the second half, particularly the fourth quarter. He went for 23 tonight to lead the United States. 18 from Paul George in his U.S. senior men's national team comeback tonight. Melo had 17, and the U.S. wins it by 37 here tonight, 111-74. Initial impressions of this USA team, Smitty?
I think for teams going up against this defense with these wing defenders, it's going to be tough. And then how do you box out DeAndre Jordan and DeMarcus Cousins? And we're not even going to talk about the three-point shot because they really didn't get hot from the three-point line. But when they do, it's going to be spectacular for them. This comes down to their versatility on the wing defenders to be able to switch and create havoc. That's I think is going to set them apart.
Offensive rebounding was really a major factor for the United States. They outscored Argentina by 20 in the paint, outscored them by 20 in second chance points as well. And there just aren't many teams they'll face in the Olympics who can match up with the physicality of Cousins and DeAndre Jordan, who both dominated in there.
You're totally right. And I think when you have those deflections, and then if it's somewhat even, guys going for the basketball and then be able to get out and score on the break, the speed of this team is phenomenal, and I think that's what's going to be tough for teams, to be able to keep up with them and their speed, and guys that can cover a lot of ground with these athletic wings.
And when all else fails, having one of the planet's great scorers on your roster in Kevin Durant is always a good plan.
It is, for sure. And then there's another guy in Carmelo Anthony that can flat out score the basketball as well, and Paul George, and then Kyrie is one of those guys that we know that can take over the basketball game just because being able to score the basketball and with his ball handling ability.
Let's send it over to Jared Greenberg, who's standing by with Paul George.
Yeah, Matt, it was a week full of a lot of repetitive questions for Paul George. 18 points tonight in the return. You feel like you made a statement?
Oh, man, I was a little eerie about stepping on these Vegas floors, but man, God bless, he gave me a second chance, and this crowd was amazing tonight.
Obviously a different arena. We're down the boulevard from Thomas and Mack, but you said eerie. What was the initial feeling when you finally put the red, white, and blue back on?
I mean, it was, once I put that jersey back on, the nervousness went away. Really just focused my whole mindset on coming out here, playing well, doing the right things, and doing what I need to do to get this win. It was a lot of emotions. I'm not going to lie, but, the guys in the locker room did a great job of, just making sure I was good before we came out and ran on the floor.
It seemed like from the moment the injury happened, Coach Krzyzewski and Jerry Colangelo committed to you. You'd have a spot as long as you wanted it. How gratifying is it that you're back here and now an opportunity to win Team USA a gold?
Grateful. Grateful. They stuck to their word. They're just as committed to me as I'm committed to playing for my country. And that went a long ways, especially this being Coach K's last go-around. This one's special for me, special for him. It's only right to be a part of this one.
How much does tonight help you guys get ready for the Olympics?
Helps a lot. We played well. We could do a whole lot better. I think, we missed a lot of shots we're very capable of making. For us, it's all about rhythm and timing. The more we gel, the more we get more practice time, the more these exhibition games come around, the better we'll get. It's still early, but I think for the most part we're gelling well.
You have pretty high expectations because you only missed 4 of your 11 shots, so not bad from Paul George, guys, as he makes his return to the U.S. men's national team.
Great story, and he couldn't gotten off to a better start than he did here tonight. It's time for our stat of the game presented by Nike. And Smitty, we talked about it. The second chance points really determined what happened in the first half in particular when the U.S. built the big lead.
Oh, you said it best. And you look at that, that's 26-6. I mean, that's just a plus 20, and you don't even shoot the basketball well. How can you do that in 42 points in the paint to 22 to Argentina? That's a plus 20. That's going to be hard to beat.
And what can opponents do to counter it?
Knock down threes. I mean, that's it. I mean, you're not going to be able to stop them from offensive rebounding and also being able to put balls and points in the paint. You're going to have to make that up at the free throw line and at the three-point line.
Andres Nocioni led Argentina with 15, but the U.S. wins big just as they hoped here tonight. Back with more from Las Vegas after this.